Natalie, and I'm back with another recipe for you. We're gonna do some oven roasted fall apart barbecue pork spare ribs. These are a crowd pleaser. You can bring them to your Christmas parties, have them at your Christmas dinner, appetizer, however you choose to do it. We're having them for dinner. It's good for every day. And it's so affordable. It's cheap pork spare ribs. I got, let's see, I got a 5-pound pork spare rib rack right here for $6.42. It was on sale at $1.29 a pound. Normally $1.99 a pound. It would have cost me 10 bucks. Still cheap. And lots of ribs. All right, let's get to it. My opinion, these are the best pork spare ribs you'll ever have in the oven next to a barbecue. If you do it outside, of course, they're going to be so much better. But you don't have to. It's winter, right? I think we're a little crooked here. It's winter. So we're going to do it in the oven. These are slow roasted, so you need about 3 hours to get these done. The first thing you got to do is set your oven to 250. Take your pork spare ribs out of their pack, give them a rinse, and pat them dry. I'm going to do that, and we'll come back. Also going to need a large cookie sheet that will fit your pork spare ribs on. If you don't have one, as long as your ribs, cut them in half to fit them, okay? Highly recommended. Let's see if I can get you all up in here. Okay. Highly recommended to cover your cookie sheet in about 3 or 4 layers of tin foil. These are going to slow roast in here, and it will stain. You can see I've had it happen. Stain your cookie sheet. It doesn't matter how much foil I put on here, they leak through. The juice leaks through somehow. But do the best you can. So just cover it, 3-4 layers on the bottom. And if you didn't know, shiny side of tin foil should be on top. We're doing the unshiny side. That's the non-stick side, okay? So I'm going to do that before I rinse and pat my ribs dry so I can put the ribs right on here to dry. Highly suggested. Go ahead and warp speed this so you can see me cover this. Keep covering it until all holes are covered. Okay, now I got about 4 layers of foil on here. I did it this way and then I did it this way. And we're taking one other precaution. I'm telling you, it's worth it. If you don't do this, you'll see why. I'm going to take parchment and put it on the bottom here. I'm hoping to catch any juices like going under those lips, okay? And hopefully you don't get too much parchment. I'm actually going to cut this edge off. Now that my cookie sheet is fully lined with parchment and foil, I'm going to rinse and pat dry my ribs and throw them on here. Changing my mind, I'm taking the parchment off for now and putting the paper towel on here. This is how I usually do it. I got 2 layers of paper towel. I'm going to throw the ribs right on top of this paper towel and pat them dry right here. Be right back with that. Okay. Now we're just going to pat dry. I got the bottom side up, and mine are trimmed. But if you didn't have it trimmed here, they're mainly trimmed. I mean, I could remove this, but it doesn't matter. You could take the membrane off, but they have already done that for me. I'm just checking. Actually, they didn't get it all. I'm just going with my fingers here. See this really tough, stretchy paper filling stuff, plastic filling stuff? That's the membrane. It's not edible. Okay? So I just keep pulling at it. They were supposed to take it all off, but I see it. I expect for $6. It doesn't matter if you leave it on because of how we're about to cook these, but it helps for later when you're cutting them. Yeah, see. All right, we'll warp spree me getting off this membrane from the back of the ribs here. It's not much, but you just kind of go under with a knife here and find it. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm not worried about getting it totally clean because this is really going to melt off for us because the way we're going to cook it. Although here I am messing with it. Just going to score it a little bit. I'm going to take this off and put the parchment back on. I just didn't want my parchment soaked. We're not adding any fluid in here. It's going to cook in its own juices and steam up. There's no boiling to these ribs, nothing like that. Don't add water. Don't need to. Okay. I'm putting them backside down because we're going to season this side first and then flip it over. I like to use Montreal steak seasoning, or can't find that right now, so I got Chicago by Weber steak seasoning. This just has salt, garlic, spices, red bell pepper, and red pepper in it. It's really good. So I'm just going to sprinkle this liberally. We're not adding any sauces right now, okay? Or oils. Don't need to because of the parchment. If you're not using parchment, oil your foil. It'll stick to it, okay? And we're going to go in with some salt. Oh, there's salt in this seasoning. It's never enough in my book. So I'm just taking some pinches and going liberally with salt here. Don't worry about it. It won't be too much. Now we're going to flip her over. Make sure it's centered. And the parchment is centered. It's pretty good. This piece kind of, this one okay. But that will work. And now we're going to season this up. Now, salt. And that's it for now. Now you're going to tightly cover this with foil, okay? Tightly cover it. Seal all the edges. That's why you need your parchment paper inside here. But try to seal all the edges, okay? See? Shiny tight up. Is that right there? The reason we're tightly sealing the top, and I put one across that crack right there, that wasn't long enough. So the reason why we're doing that is because this is basically steaming these pork ribs in the oven, okay? I'm just recovering that crack. All right, now you're going to put this in a 250-degree oven anywhere from 2 to 3 hours. Mine's going to be 3 hours. I had 5 pounds of ribs. Until they fall off the bone, and they will, I promise. And then we'll sauce it. So really you need about 3.5 hours to 4 hours to cook these ribs. Because after the 3 hours, we'll sauce it. I'll show you. All right, see you in 3 hours, going in the oven. It's been 3 hours, and sorry, football's going on. Honey can't be bothered to turn it down. Gotta have it loud. But we're gonna check these and see if they're done. Be careful. Steam's gonna come out of here. Don't burn yourself. Ooh, yeah. Let me turn this around. Without spilling juice. You see how I can see those bones? I already know this is pretty much done. You see all that juice? We didn't add any water. Now I'm looking for it to be tender. And it is. It's very, very tender. If I really tugged on here, I could probably pull the bone out. Okay? So now it's time for sauce. I got G Hughes sugar-free barbecue sauce here, maple brown sugar. I prefer the Hickory. I picked up the wrong one. But this maple brown is pretty good too. So, crank your oven up to 400 degrees and put some sauce on it. The reason why we're cranking the oven up is to kind of char and candyfy the sauce on top. I don't measure. I just put it on there. I get me a little pastry brush here, whatever you want to call it, basting brush, and smear it on. So we're going to put these back in the oven for 15 minutes at 400 degrees. We're going to baste them one more time with sauce and go another 15 minutes. And we should be done. Okay? Make sure everybody getting sauce. Everybody getting sauce. Okay? So I'm going to crank up my oven and stick them in there. 15 minutes for the first layer, okay? We're layering sauce. Do 1 layer if you don't like it really saucy, 2 layers like I do, 3 layers, 4 layers, whatever you want to do. The point thing is to cook in between layers, okay? Mention they're going back in uncovered. Don't need the top cover of foil anymore. Uncovered. We're candyfying, kind of charring the sauce on top, sticking it down. This is how we're looking after the first 15 minutes. We're going to pour more sauce on here and spread it out. Make sure you're getting down. I'm not worried about the bottom. It's not really eating the bottom. There's going to be plenty of sauce. If I flip them over, they're going to fall apart. And I want to keep them together. That's the point of having fall apart ribs. Alright. So I'm just trying to make sure everybody got sauce. You know? I'm going to go a little heavy on this one. You can see how it was all dry on it. Okay. Another 15 minutes. Look how those are looking. Yum. So yum. There we are. That's after another 15 minutes. See how the sauce is kind of candified on top and it's stuck to it. Now let these rest for 15 minutes. All meats should rest for 15 minutes so the juices run back into the meat and it's better to handle. So we'll be back in 15 minutes. Okay, now it's time to cut into these. I got the bones facing me so I know where to cut. And we just go down along the bones here. I should have started at, that bone's always hard to cut. I'm actually gonna freaking just get through it somehow. There. There we go. See, that bone just came out of there. These are so good. So good. Just Can we? Can we? Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to cut these all apart. I'm going to serve this with my keto coleslaw. I'll post that video soon. It'll be a real short one. Yes. See how they're just kind of falling apart, coming off of there? See that? Yes. Yes. So good. I'm going to have 4. I'm going to have 4 of these as a serving. You have as much as you want. The only carbs in here are from the barbecue sauce, which we spread out. So I track a tablespoon or 2. It's really not even a tablespoon on there, but you know, I track that. But look at these. Can we just, yeah. If I pull really hard, that bone will come out. Yummy. I'll plate this up and show you. Show you here, this bone pulled out of that rib right there. Fall apart ribs. Yummy. No boiling necessary. Pair this with some keto coleslaw, like I got here, and you got a meal. Gonna eat now. Thank you for stopping by my channel and watching this video. I hope you can make yourself some really good oven barbecue ribs. These are amazing to me. I love them so much. And I haven't met a person that didn't love them either. It's a definite crowd pleaser. Go ahead, bring them to your Christmas parties, at work, or wherever you go, or just have them anytime. So good. Don't forget to like and subscribe, comment below, hit that bell so you're first notified when I post a video next. Have a great day. Merry Christmas. Bye.